ABSEC's online support program, Class 9, Week 12, Lesson 1, Subject Biology. Textbook Biology, page number from 74 to 82, Unit 4, Cells and Tissues, topic Animal Tissues, Plant. Objectives. By the end of the lesson, students will be able to revise animal tissues, types of animal tissues, that is epithelial tissue, connective tissues, muscle tissue and nervous tissue. Plant tissue. Types of plant tissues, that is simple tissues and permanent. Connective tissues has further three types, that is proper, skeletal and fluid connective tissues. Proper has two types, that is loose and dense. Skeletal connective tissues are in bones and cartilage. Fluid connective tissues are in blood and animal tissues. Now, as you all are familiar with the tissues, if we define tissue, so tissues are similar cells. When they are organized into groups, they will be called as tissues. There are four major categories of tissues, that are epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue and nervous tissue, as we have discussed it in the flow. Epithelial tissue. Now epithelial tissue covers the outside of body and lines organs and cavities. It means that the organs that are present in a body, so they are being lined with epithelial tissues. Their inner walls are covered with the epithelial tissues. If we talk about the cavities, so like our mouth, alimentary canal, esophagus, it has been lined with, their walls are covered with epithelial tissues, as epithelial tissues are protective in function. The cells in these tissues are very closely packed together. The cells are very much close to one another, as they serve the function of the protection. There are some of the example of the epithelial tissues. You can see this diagram. The first is the squamous tissue. This type of epithelial tissue consists of a single layer of cell, like you can see in the diagram as well. Second is the stratified squamous epithelial tissue. So it has a layers of the cells. Third is the columnar ciliated. They are provided with, or they are having a lot of cilia. Third is the cuboidal, as it is in the shape of the cuboid, so it is named as the cuboidal epithelial tissue. If we talk about the functions of these types, so the squamous tissues are actually found in lungs, heart and blood vessel, and it allows the movement of the material across it. If we talk about this stratified squamous epithelium, so it is present in the lining of the esophagus and mouth and also over the skin, and it protects the inner part. Columnar or ciliated epithelium, they are actually present in trachea and bronchi and propels mucus. Cuboidal epithelium tissues are found in kidney, small glands, etc., where it makes secretion. So it actually helps in secretion. Connective tissue. As the name shows, connective tissue serves as a connecting function. As you all know that human body consists of bones, muscles, skin. So what do you think? They all are attached to one another, or are they free? So students, they are attached to one another. And how they are attached to one another? They are attached to one another with the help of the connecting tissues. If they were not connected to one another, so the organs will get displaced when it moves from one place to another. Come towards the functions of the connective tissues. It supports and binds to other tissues. Unlike epithelial tissues, connective tissues has cells scattered. So connective tissues are present throughout our body because it helps in the connection of the muscles, of the skeleton, of the tissues, etc. Now examples of the connective tissue. The first example is of the cartilage. Now you all know that cartilage is a kind of a soft bone that is present at the end of the bones. It is found in the external ear, like when you touch your ear, your pinna. So it is made up of soft bone, and this is called a cartilage. It is also present in nose, in trachea, etc., in bones and blood too. Adipose tissues. Adipose tissues are actually the fat tissues, and they are present around your kidneys, and they are also present in the abdomen. Adipose tissues is also a type of a connective tissue. Now what is the function of the adipose tissue? It provides energy and support organs. You can see the diagram of the connective tissues. Look at here the loose connective tissues. So the loose connective tissues are actually under the skin, right? Look at to the adipose tissues. So the adipose tissues are actually present in the fat droplets. You can see this fat, these are present in the fat droplets. Connective tissues are also found in the blood, as I have told you. It is also found in the fibrous connective tissue, in the cartilage and in the bone. So you can see that connective tissues are present throughout the body, either in the adipose tissues or blood, fibrous connective tissue, in the cartilage or in the bone. So connective tissues are scattered throughout the body. Muscles tissue. Muscle tissue consists of bundles of long cells called muscle fiber. As the name indicates, the muscle tissue, so these are a kind of tissues which will be present in the muscles, and they are present in the form of long cells, and these long cells will be named as muscle fibers. Now these muscle fibers are very much abundant in animal. The cells of these tissues has the ability to contract, like they help in contraction. There are three kinds of muscle tissues, that is skeletal muscles, smooth muscles and cardiac muscles. Skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles, another name of the skeletal muscles is striated muscles. What does striated mean? Striated means stripped. These are the kind of muscles that are present in the form of long strips. Okay. So these muscles are attached to the bones. It means that the skeletal muscles are attached to the bones. Their cells are striated. Striated means that they are stripped and contain many nuclei. Like it will be having very much nuclei. Not only a single nucleus will be present, but a large nuclei will be present. Skeletal muscles are voluntary in action. Now these are the kind of muscles which are under our will. Like if we are moving, if we are sitting, so these are the kind of movements which are under our control. So just like that, skeletal muscles are also under our will, under the control of our will. Now what are the functions of the skeletal muscles? Skeletal muscles help in the movement of the bones, like when you are contracting and relaxing your arm. So because we are having the skeletal muscles with the help of which we can move our hand. This is the diagram of the skeletal muscle. You can see the strips. These are actually, because of these strips, they are named as the striated muscles or the stripped muscles. Smooth muscles. They contain smooth non-striated cells, each with a single nucleus. Now smooth muscles are actually those muscles which will be not stripped. They will be simple smooth plain muscles, and they will be having only a single nucleus. They are involuntary in action. Involuntary in action means that they are those movements which are not under our control. Now what is the location of the smooth muscles? They are found in the walls of the alimentary canal, urinary bladder, blood vessels. Now, like from this location, you come to know that why they are involuntary inaction, because when we push our bolus from our mouth towards the esophagus, like esophagus is an alimentary canal, so when it reaches to the esophagus, so then it is no more under our control and we can't push that bolus towards the mouth again. If you talk about the blood vessels, so the blood that is moving inside the vessels, that is not under our control. Now, what is the function of the smooth muscles? They are responsible for the movement of substances, like you can see the blood. So the blood actually move inside the vessel, so it is helping in the movement of the substance. Smooth muscles are helping in the movement of the substances. As for the alimentary canal, so the bolus is pushed towards the esophagus and it is moving down towards the stomach, so it is also a kind of a movement, and this movement is provided by the smooth muscle. You can look at the diagram of the smooth muscles. So this is the diagram. You can see like it is plain surface, right? A single nucleus is present and muscle fibers are also present. Cardiac muscle. Their cells are also striated, but there is a single nucleus in each. Now, if you talk about the cardiac muscles, so the cardiac muscles are also striated. Striated mean that they will be in the form of strips. What is the location of the cardiac muscle? As its name indicates, cardiac, so it will be present in the walls of the heart, and function of the cardiac muscle is that they produce a heart. This is the diagram of the cardiac muscles. You can see the strips in the cardiac muscles. So that's why they are also striated muscles.
Nervous tissue. We know that an animal's survival depends on its ability to respond appropriately to the stimuli from its environment. This ability requires the transmission of information among the bodies of parts. It means that we are having nerves inside our body, right? If ever we are touching a hot body or a hot vessel, so we directly withdraw our hand. Why we withdraw our hand? Because the nerves give the message to the spinal cord, and the spinal cord regulates that message, and with the help of the motor neurons the message comes back to the nerves of the hand that we should withdraw our hand. So in this way the transmission of information take place among the body part, as the nerves are distributed throughout the body. Now, what are the function of the nervous system? The function of the nervous system is that it forms a communication system and performs this task. So, as I have told you that how it performs the communication system, because we are having nerves inside our body, and whenever we are touching anything, so the nerves send the message to the spinal cord, and in this way it serves the function of the communication.
Nervous tissues. Composition of nervous tissue. This tissue is mainly composed of nerve cells or neurons, which are specialized to conduct messages in the form of nerve impulses. As I have already told you in the previous slide that how the messages are conducted in the form of nerve impulses. Now, what is the location of the nervous tissues? Nervous tissue is found in brain, spinal cord, and this is the diagram of the nervous tissue having a nucleus, cell body, and these branches are called as dendrites. The trunk is known as the axon, and at the end the root-like structure is called the nerve. Now, the flow chart of the plant tissues. Plant tissue is divided into two types, that is meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. Meristematic tissues has further its subtypes, that is apical meristem, lateral meristem, and intercalary meristem. Permanent tissue is divided into two subtypes, that is simple permanent tissues, complex permanent tissues. Simple permanent tissue is further subdivided into parenchyma tissues and collenchyma tissues. Complex permanent tissues is further subdivided into xylem tissue and phloem tissue. Plant tissues. As I have already told you about the tissues, that whenever the cells combine together, so they will give rise to tissues and they will be performing a specific function. So same is the case with the plant tissue, they will be performing functions like photosynthesis and transport. There are two major categories of tissues in plants, that is simple tissues and compound complex tissues. Now simple tissues. The tissues which are made of single type of cells are called simple tissues, as its name indicates that they are made from a single type of cell. That's why they are named as tissues. Types of simple tissues: meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. Meristematic tissue. These tissues are composed of cells which have the ability to divide. As meristematic tissues are responsible for the plant growth, that's why they have the ability to divide. Like whenever you grow a seed, so it will give rise to a plant and the plant will grow into a tree. Now you can see a clear difference. Now who brought this difference? Actually meristematic tissues are present in growing region of the plant, and the growing region of the plants are the roots and the shoots. That's why they has the ability to divide. The cells are thin walled, have large nucleus and small or no vacuoles. They do not have intercellular spaces among them. Like it is very clear from this line that their cell will be thin walled. They will be having a one large nucleus. They will be having a small or no vacuole, and the spaces among these cells will be very much less, or they will be not having any kind of a space. Permanent tissues. Permanent tissues originate from meristematic tissues, means that it arises from the meristematic tissues. The cells of these tissues do not have the ability to divide, as the cells of the permanent tissues were having the ability of division, but they are not having any ability of division. They are further classified into the following types, that is epidermal tissues, ground tissues, support tissues. Support tissue provides strength and flexibility to the plants. Types of support tissues: collenchyma tissue and scleral. Compound complex tissues. A plant tissue composed of more than one type of cell is called a compound tissue. Examples are xylem and phloem tissues. As you all know that xylem help in the conduction of water and phloem help in the conduction of the food materials. So this was your today's lecture. Hope you find it easy and interesting. Thank you.